Hello everyone, my name is Henry. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Oh no, I've been erased by Indiana's House Bill 1608. Anyways, silliness aside, today I'm going to talk about what the bill is, why the bill is being proposed, the ramifications of the bill, and why I believe that the bill is wrong and should not be passed. This affects a wide variety of people, and I hope that by sharing my personal perspectives and experiences can help to shed light on this issue. What is HB 1608? Please be patient with me as I read several quotes, some from the actual bill itself. The two-page bill prohibits school staff and contractors from teaching lessons that study, explore, or inform students about topics like gender roles, stereotypes, and identity, as well as sexual orientation in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Author of the bill, Representative Michelle Davis, described her bill as common sense legislation. She said, "The goal of the bill is to empower Hoosier parents by reinforcing that they're in the driver's seat when it comes to introducing sensitive topics to their children." The bill is eerily similar to what is now known as the Don't Say Gay bill that was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida and is now being copied all across numerous states in the US. Putting politics masked over parental rights is extremely dangerous to LGBTQAI+ children and families. The ACLU states that this bill sends a dangerous message to these already vulnerable youth that they are a threat to public discourse. The bill sends the message that students should feel ashamed about their own or their parents' gender identity and sexual orientation, and that these topics are wrong. I'm not saying we need to force these discussions on students in grades K through 3, but give teachers the freedom to allow these discussions as needed. One of the arguments supporting this bill is that students in grades K through 3 are simply too young to be learning about these topics. But the bill isn't about or doesn't focus on human sexuality. Instead, it's an issue on identity and whether trans and gay people exist. Why is there a fear of being taught that trans and gay people exist, but not that straight people exist? Kids are much smarter and perceptive than people give them credit for. If they learn about these topics at a young age, then these topics become normalized and not a big deal. Denying that these subjects exist doesn't mean that they do not exist. If a student has 2 gay parents, but they're not allowed to talk about it, that doesn't mean that their gay parents do not exist. If they can't talk about it with their teacher, or their friends have questions and ask their teacher, and the teacher can't talk about it, again, the kid still has gay parents. Growing up, I was bullied profusely for being gay due to my flamboyant personality, and this was before I even knew I was gay myself. If being gay had been discussed in class, even if lightly discussed, it would have helped to reduce the bullying because my peers would have seen an adult that they look up to talking about gay people, normalizing the topic for them. If I would have had the language at a young age, it would have helped to prevent me from going into a depression due to denial, lack of understanding of my feelings and who I was and why I was feeling a specific attraction, and also fear of rejection and being disowned by others. Also, with this policy, if a 2nd grade me went to a teacher or counselor and let them know that I'm being bullied for being gay. Why am I being bullied for being gay? Gay, gay, gay. The topic keeps coming up. Well, technically, with this policy, the teacher or the counselor may not be able to say anything with fear of the potential consequences. I'm not saying we need to force these discussions and topics on students in grades K through 3, but give the freedom to discuss these topics as needed to help out a young 2nd grade Henry who's being bullied for being gay. This is not LGBTQAI+ sex ed. Instead, it's simply an acknowledgement of our existence. If children don't feel accepted for who they are, or the family they come from, or their parents aren't accepted, then that will have a negative impact on them. According to the Trevor Project, LGBTQAI+ youth who learned about LGBTQAI+ issues or people in classes at school had 23% lower odds of reporting a suicide attempt in the past 12 months. And what about the kids who want or need a safe space? If at home their parents deem gay as bad or may even disown them for being gay, and they can't talk about it with any teachers or counselors at school, then that leaves the student completely helpless. Isn't it necessary for a school to be safe in all ways? This bill is dangerously vague. Are teachers prohibited from even acknowledging that LGBTQAI+ people even exist? What if a student comes to a teacher and asks, "What is a gay person?" Can they not answer this question? Because that certainly could be viewed as exploring and teaching the topic. If I were a straight, which I'm not, shocker, if I were a straight married teacher, I would be allowed to mention or talk about my opposite sex partner. But if I'm a gay teacher, am I allowed to mention my same-sex partner? Gay teachers would have to lie to their students when talking about their family. Not being able to discuss LGBTQAI+ people makes us invisible. And like I've said in a previous vlog, we are not invisible. That is something that we should be upset about. And that's something that's not okay and something that should change because we are a part of society, we're not going anywhere, and it's not going to change. We are here, we are queer, get used to it. Or at least acknowledge our existence. Proponents of the bill argue that the bill does not ban a specific word. You cannot control what students talk about. But if teachers are afraid of the consequences of discussing LGBTQAI+ people, or potentially even getting sued, then the likelihood of them talking about these topics or even mentioning them is very low. The risk is simply too high. Teachers may be afraid that they're accidentally going to say the wrong thing or in the wrong way, and it could be interpreted as going against the bill. And there could be a lawsuit because of the bill's vagueness. If students were doing a family tree project and one of the students had same-sex parents, then technically they wouldn't be allowed to talk with their teacher about the same-sex parents that they have. If their friends didn't understand why they had two same-sex parents, then they wouldn't be able to talk to the teacher about it. By avoiding or not talking about the topic, that child's family becomes stigmatized. It turns something that would have been glossed over in class into something. The passing of this bill would only be the beginning, with future bills already created to extend the students' age range from K-3 to K-12. HB 1608 will be heard by the House of Education Committee this Monday at the Indiana Statehouse at 8 a.m. The ACLU, being its wonderful self, is planning a Pack the Statehouse event at 7:30 a.m. So if you're able to go, definitely go. It will make a huge, huge difference. There is so much more to talk about with this issue, but I just wanted to start sharing my opinion and open a discussion in a safe place. This is an upcoming cultural battle that is already happening across America, and I see the issue becoming a prominent talking point in the upcoming presidential elections. Leave a comment on what your thoughts are on this issue below. Thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Thank you again. Bye. Mwah!